Someone gives you attention, and suddenly the moment feels bigger than it should. A message appears after hours of silence. A person remembers a small detail about you. They look directly at you when you speak, laugh a little harder at your jokes, or make you feel noticed in a room where you usually disappear. Nothing dramatic has happened, yet your mind begins building a story. Maybe they understand you. Maybe this is different. Maybe this is love. But attention and love are not the same thing. Attention is the experience of being noticed. Love is the experience of being known, respected, considered, and cared for consistently. Attention can happen in seconds. Love usually reveals itself through patterns. Attention can make you feel important for a moment. Love requires someone to treat your well-being as important even when the moment is not exciting. Your brain does not always wait long enough to separate the two. Human beings are built to respond strongly to social attention. For most of our history, being noticed by other people was connected to belonging. A person who received attention from the group was more likely to be included, protected, remembered, and supported. A person who was repeatedly ignored risked becoming socially invisible, and invisibility inside a small human group could be dangerous. Your nervous system still treats attention as meaningful because attention once signaled that you had a place. This is why being noticed can feel physically rewarding. Your mood lifts. Your thoughts become more energetic. You replay the interaction. You become more aware of the person who gave you the feeling. The attention may not contain commitment, care, or understanding, but the brain registers one powerful message. I matter here. For someone who has gone a long time without feeling seen, that message can feel almost identical to love. Imagine that you have been emotionally lonely. You may have friends, co-workers, relatives, or people around you every day, but you rarely feel deeply noticed. Conversations stay on the surface. Nobody asks the question you secretly wish someone would ask. Nobody seems curious about the person behind your routine. Then someone arrives and focuses on you. They send thoughtful messages. They notice changes in your mood. They make you feel interesting. The intensity does not come only from what they are giving you. It also comes from what was missing before. A glass of water feels ordinary when you are not thirsty. When you have been thirsty for years, the first sip can feel extraordinary. In the same way, small amounts of attention can feel emotionally enormous when your need to be seen has been neglected. This is where the brain can make a mistake. It may interpret relief as proof. The person relieved your loneliness, so they must be right for you. They made you feel visible, so they must understand you. They activated hope, so they must be capable of love. But relief tells you that a need was touched. It does not tell you that the person can meet that need safely or consistently. Attention is powerful because it activates possibility. It invites your imagination to complete the unfinished picture. A few messages become the beginning of a future. One intimate conversation becomes evidence of emotional compatibility. A long look becomes hidden depth. Your mind fills the empty spaces with what you hope is there. You are not responding only to the person. You are responding to the person plus the story your brain is creating around them. This is especially common when attention is inconsistent. Someone is warm one day and distant the next. They message intensely, then disappear. They make you feel chosen, then uncertain. Logically, inconsistency should make the connection less appealing, but emotionally, it can make the attention more powerful. Unpredictable rewards are difficult for the brain to ignore. When attention arrives at random, you begin monitoring for it. You check your phone more often. You study changes in tone. You replay the last conversation and wonder what caused the distance. When the attention finally returns, the relief feels stronger because it ended the uncertainty. The brain may interpret that emotional intensity as love, but sometimes the intensity is not closeness, it is instability. A stable person may feel less intoxicating at first because you are not constantly trying to recover their attention. They reply consistently. Their interest does not need to be decoded. You do not experience the same dramatic rise and fall. If your nervous system has learned to associate uncertainty with desire, steadiness can feel strangely quiet. You might say there is no spark, but the missing spark may be anxiety. This confusion often begins early. If affection in childhood was inconsistent, attention may have felt especially valuable because it was not guaranteed. Perhaps a parent was loving when they were in a good mood, but unavailable at other times. Perhaps praise arrived only when you performed well, stayed easy, or met expectations. Perhaps you learned that closeness had to be earned by being useful, impressive, funny, calm, or undemanding. The child does not usually think this attention is conditional. The child thinks this is what love feels like. Later, the adult may feel drawn to people who recreate the same emotional pattern. Attention that must be earned feels meaningful. Distance creates urgency. Uncertainty activates effort. A person who is difficult to reach can seem more valuable precisely because their attention is scarce. Scarcity increases focus, but it does not increase compatibility. When someone gives you a limited amount of attention, your brain may assign greater value to every small sign. A short message becomes precious. A compliment becomes evidence. A few minutes of warmth can outweigh hours of confusion. Because the attention is rare, each piece feels important. This is the same reason people can become attached to potential. They are not receiving enough love to feel secure, but they are receiving enough attention to keep hope alive. Hope fills the space where consistency should be. There is another reason attention can resemble love. Attention temporarily changes how you see yourself. When someone looks at you with interest, you may feel more attractive, intelligent, funny, or valuable. Their attention becomes a mirror that reflects a version of you that you enjoy seeing. You may believe you want the person, but part of what you want is the self you become in their presence. Around them, you feel chosen, you feel vivid, you feel less invisible. When they withdraw, you do not only miss them, you miss the version of yourself that appeared when they were paying attention. This can create dependency. Your sense of worth starts rising and falling according to their focus. When they are engaged, you feel confident. When they become distant, you question yourself. You search for what changed. You wonder what you did wrong. You try to become more interesting, more attractive, more agreeable, or less demanding so the attention will return. At that point, the connection is no longer only about affection. It has become a system for regulating your self-worth. Love should not require you to keep proving that you deserve to be noticed. Real care includes attention, but it also includes much more. It includes respect for boundaries, concern for your experience, reliability, honesty, emotional responsibility, and the willingness to remain present when the interaction is not exciting. A person can give you intense attention and still be careless with your feelings. They can ask intimate questions without intending to build intimacy. They can make you feel special while treating several people the same way. They can enjoy your admiration without being prepared to care for the impact they have on you. Attention describes where someone is looking. Love describes how they treat what they see. This distinction becomes clearer when the situation becomes inconvenient. Attention is easy when someone is curious, lonely, attracted, bored, or seeking validation. Love becomes visible when patience is required, when misunderstanding needs repair, when boundaries are expressed, when your needs compete with their immediate comfort, or when you are no longer performing the version of yourself they first found exciting. Do they remain respectful when you disagree? Do they listen when the answer is not what they wanted? Do they care about how their behavior affects you? Do their actions remain coherent when their mood changes? Can they tolerate your full humanity? Or do they only enjoy the parts of you that make them feel good? These questions reveal more than the intensity of their attention. You can also confuse attention with love when you are accustomed to being ignored. A person doing the minimum may appear exceptional because your baseline has been so low. They remember your birthday, reply with interest, ask how you are, or notice when something is wrong. These are meaningful behaviors, but they are not automatically proof of deep love. Sometimes they are simply basic emotional presence. When you have been deprived, basic care can feel luxurious. This does not mean you should distrust kindness or reduce every warm interaction to something meaningless. The goal is not to become suspicious of attention. Attention is an important part of connection. The goal is to stop forcing attention to carry evidence it does not yet contain. You can enjoy being noticed without deciding that you have been understood. You can appreciate chemistry without calling it commitment. You can feel excited without allowing excitement to answer questions only time can answer. Time matters because love is not a single emotional event. It is a pattern. A person can focus on you intensely for one evening,